Alright, what's up guys? Brand new deck profile today. I'm bringing you a Chaos Max Dragon deck profile. This deck profile is crazy. It is... I've been waiting actually to drop this deck profile like over a month. But the issue is I actually need one card out of the whole deck. It's been released technically globally. It's called Synchros. I printed it out here for reference. So basically I need this card really badly for the deck. This is the only card that I'm missing. And it's been released in the OCG, all over the OCG. It's been released in Europe, but it just hasn't been released here in the United States of America because of things that are going on in the world. But basically, yeah, I need the card. I've been waiting for like a month. At this point, I just said, screw it, I'm going to do the deck profile. I don't care anymore. I have this stunning quality printout here. It's like a movie from the 1950s, but look at it. It's terrific looking. But yeah, you need this card. Absolutely need this card to do all of the combos. This is a very, very combo-heavy deck. This is not your typical Chaos Max Dragon deck. There's a lot of combos. If you want me to do a combo video, I guess let me know in the comments section, and if there's enough of a request, I'll do it. But let's get started without further ado. This is a combo-based version of the deck. It's not your typical version. First of all, we play 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Play your favorite artworks. These cards are essentially and almost entirely bricks in the deck. You will usually either search them so you can summon an alternative eyes, or you will just send them off of the Advanced Ritual Art. Those are the only 2 things that these are going to do in the deck. You are typically not going to summon them. You can summon them off the guardragons occasionally, but most of the time you will not. Then we play 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This, of course, you guys know what this does. Pops a card. It's a free summon, free body. Adds to the damage that you have to put into your opponent's face. This is a going second deck, but I've built it in a way that it has a lot of going first options. Because the problem with Chaos Max Dragon, it's a very one-note deck, and it's very difficult to go first with that deck, simply because the deck is, of course, the natural way to play Chaos Max Dragon is to go second, because he does piercing, and sure, he has protection, but the protection isn't that difficult to get around. Like Dingirsu and a lot of other cards can get around Chaos Max Dragon. His main thing is that you can OTK with him. So I'll try to fix as many of those problems as possible. Play 3 copies of Chaos Max Dragon. You of course do need this. If you can summon multiples, it's tremendous, and you can just attack right into your opponent's face and basically win. Play 1 copy of Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. This is like Chaos Max Dragon's little brother. Let me zoom in a little bit there. He's basically, when this card, everybody knows what Chaos Max Dragon does. He has protection, does double piercing. This card, when it declares an attack, it can change the battle positions of all of your opponent's monsters. So if they're in attack, they go to defense. If they're in defense, they go to attack, all that. And it makes their attack and defense 0. And neither of those things target in any way. So as long as your opponent has 2 monsters, you've won the game, because you basically attack with Chaos Dragon, change everything to defense, and then you attack with Chaos Max into a monster that has 0 defense, and it does double piercing, so it does 8,000. You just win right then and there. But all of the cards that I've showed you so far are searchable off of Melody of Awakening Dragon, along with our next extender, which is Chaos Dragon Levianeer. And this card, again, is a very, very useful extender. You can get all 3 effects off if you want to. So it has an effect, if you banish 3 darks, you get to shuffle a card away from your opponent's hand. You can do that if you're going first. It has the effect, if you use lights and darks, you can pop 2 cards, which again, you were playing lights and darks in this deck, so you are going to get off that effect. And then if you do just lights, then you can special summon a monster back from the graveyard in defense mode, and that is also very much useful. But all 3 effects are very, very usable. Then we've got 2 copies of Incantation Candle. I'm going light on these, because these you basically use at the end of your combo. The last thing that you're going to do is Ritual Summon. You're going to do a bunch of Link Summons, a bunch of Synchro Summons. The very final thing that you're going to do is Ritual Summon anyway. So when you summon these, you're going to lock yourself out of the extra deck, but that doesn't matter, because this is the very final thing that you're going to do. Well, the second to last thing. Second to last thing you're going to do is activate the incantations, and the very final thing you're going to do is Ritual Summon. So it's okay if you get locked in, because you're going to get locked in afterwards. So 2 Candles and 2 Talismandras, as you know, those things search basically ritual spells and ritual monsters, and they put monsters on board. Then we play 2 copies of Mecha Phantom Beast Olion. We just really, first of all, we really don't want to draw this card. but this card can do a lot of one-card combos, just like this card by itself can do a whole lot. And on top of that, if you don't know, this card's first effect is, in most decks, this is just like a one of, and if they draw it, they basically lose. But the thing with this card is, since we're playing two, let's say we draw one, we summon one off of Needle Fiber, we do the usual Needle Fiber plays, and then we can actually banish this card in order to get an extra normal summon of a Mecha Phantom Beast monster. So we can actually normal summon another Beast O-Line from our hand if we happen to draw one and have one still in deck. So they actually work pretty well at two, to be 100% honest with you. So we play two of those. We play 3 copies of Righty Driver. This is kind of... This forward is where the build starts getting crazy. 3 copies of Righty Driver. This card is like a 1-card, so many different things. This card is like a 1-card Appaloosa. It's a 1-card... it's a 1-card Artifact Scythe your opponent. It's a 1-card Chaos Max Dragon attached to a Buster Dragon, which will lock your opponent out of the extra deck. This is a 1-card Chaos Max Dragon and Crystal Wing. This card is like so many 1-card. It ends on so many crazy boards just off of this one single card. And on top of that, this is actually, if you look down there, a machine duplication target. It's less than 500 attack, and it's a machine. So it's a machine duplication target. So your plays can get even more wild. Then we play 1 copy of Lefty Driver. Lefty Driver is just the card that you're going to summon off of the Righty Driver. A lot of people told me, you know, your Righty Driver is basically any 1-card Needle Fiber, right? No, it's not. Because the amazing thing about Righty Driver, outside of being a machine that's less than 500 attack, it actually has the ability to summon the Lefty Driver from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So you can actually discard the Lefty Driver for cost and then summon the Righty Driver, and you can just bring it back from the graveyard. It's like you never lost resources in the first place. It's actually very useful. So like you can discard the Lefty Driver, for example, if you draw it for cost for Melody, and search your Blue Eyes, and then normal summon Righty and just summon it back from the graveyard. On top of that, you can banish it to search. You can banish Lefty in order to search Righty. So they have like recursion and all types of synergy, and both of them are actually machine duplication targets. I've chosen not to play 3 Lefty Drivers, but you certainly can. This isn't like the final build. You can always improve on these decks tremendously. Then we play 3 copies of Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron in any card is a 1-card like crazy combo, basically, especially with this new Link Cross card. But it can get you all types of different things. It can get you to a board of like Boral Sword and Chaos Max Dragon. It can get you to Saryuja Chaos Max Dragon just off of just this 1 card. I'm not even talking like anything else, just this 1 card and a random card. And you definitely can't do that with the Incantations or Manju. With those, you need like 2-3 different cards in hand. With this 1 card, you can set up some busted boards. Like I said, if you want those combos, let me know. 1 copy of Brotar. This is not a brick, but like if you draw, it's whatever. If you typically want to keep it in your deck, but if you draw, it's not the end of the world. It's definitely not that hard of a brick. But basically, yeah, this card lets you search Chaos Max Dragon, because you can discard a card, target a monster on the field, and search a monster with the same type and attribute. And this is a dragon and a dark. It has the same type and attribute as Chaos Max Dragon and Chaos Dragon and Blue Eyes in general. So it has the same typing that allows you to search. This is a brick. We've got the Dragon Buster Sword, which you can attach with Union Carry. And oh my god, I've got so many questions about this last time. So many people were asking me, how do you attach Dragon Buster Destruction Sword to a monster in your deck? It can only be attached to Buster Blader. I got so many questions, I have to answer this. So you can attach it with Union Carrier from your deck, and it gets around the fact that it's not being attached to a Buster Blader, because this card's effect allows it to be attached to a Buster Blader from, like, if it's on the field and Buster Blader's on the field, you can attach this to the Buster Blader. But the benefit here is that you can attach this with Union Carrier, and it gets around that completely because you're attaching from the deck. And there's no restriction from attaching this from the deck to the whatever card you want. And then we play 1 Artifact Scythe. This is yet again another kind of brickish card. You don't want to draw it, but like I said, if you draw it, it's really, really not the end of the world. You just change your combo just a little bit. If anything, it kind of saves you some stuff. But yeah, that's it. That is for the That is it for the main monsters. Next, we will play the spells here. We play 3 copies of Machine Duplication. We have several targets. Righty Driver is a target. The Lefty Driver is a target if you decide to go that route. Jet Synchron is a target. Phantom Beasto Lion, unfortunately, is not a target by 100 attack. It has to be 500 or less, and Phantom Beasto Lion is actually only 600, which is a real shame, but it would have been awesome. But yeah, it's a Machine Duplication. Basically, this card is nuts in this deck because we have so many different targets and we have so much draw power just in general. This card plus any of those cards that I showed you just ends you on a disgusting board. And it in some cases, like with the Jet Synchron, you don't even need the discards because you could just do the Machine Duplication and the Jet Synchron. You don't have to worry about sending cards from hand. You can just go that route and you can do all of the Needle Fiber plays and end on just insane boards. Then we play 3 copies of Advanced Ritual Art, 3 Advanced Ritual Art, 2 Blue Eyes, because the Blue Eyes, like I said, are more so bricks than anything else in the deck. If you want, you can even cut the alternative eyes if you really wanted to. But yeah, this card basically lets you ritual summon without a cost from hand or field. You can send a normal monster from your deck to the graveyard as a cost for ritual summon, so you can send regular Blue Eyes to the graveyard as a cost instead of having to use cards on the field. We use 2 copies of Chaos Form. These 2 have tremendous synergy because you can use Advanced Ritual Art to send a Blue Eyes to summon like a Chaos Max, and then you can activate Chaos Form, banish that Blue Eyes to summon another Chaos Max Dragon. So basically you pay a lot less cost. You don't have to actually give anything up in your hand or in your grave or on your field. Melody, like I said, searches a ton of cards in our deck, and it helps with the next card, which is the trade-in, because like let's say you don't have a card for trade-in, you could just Melody into a card that can be traded in basically. But yeah, it searches a ton of cards in our deck, and on top of that, like I said, it can get us to trade in. And we have a decent amount of searching and draw power in this deck, so we can always get to the Righty Drivers and the Machine Duplications and the Mecha Phantom Beast O-Lions and all that stuff. We just need to get to at least one of those, and we have basically full combo. And then we've got 1 copy of Monster Reborn. It's kind of the solid it's a solid card to play, and I kind of like it a lot in the deck. It can get you, since you're going second, sometimes you can even take one of your opponent's really good monsters, but most of the time you'll be reviving one of your extenders just in case something bad happens. Something goes horribly wrong, I guess. But that's that. Then we go to our extra deck. I guess I'll start with the Link monsters just because it's a little bit easier. And where did I put this thing? There it is. No, it's not it. Where did I put that card? It is gone. It's disappeared. Oh, there it is. All right. So first things first, we play a copy of Synchros. I don't have the card. Like I said, it hasn't been released. But here is, just make it a little easier. Synchros, basically, when Synchros is summoned, you can summon tokens up to the link rating of the card that you used for material. So it's summoned basically with a monster, with another link monster, and then the link rating, basically the number down here, you can summon based on the amount of link rating that you use. So like let's say you use cryston Needle Fiber, you get to summon 2 tokens. Now the catch with those tokens is that you cannot use them for you can't use them to link away. You cannot link those tokens away. They have to be synchroed away. You technically can like attack or tribute or something like that with the tokens, but you cannot link the tokens away. You can link this card away, you just can't link the tokens away. But that's basically it. It gives you free tokens and allows you to do a bunch of cool synchro plays. Play 1 copy of All Mirage to just... This is for... It can be used with a few different cards, especially under Machine Duplication, but you use it mostly for the Jet Synchron to get them engraved. 1 copy of Elpie. 1 copy of Pisty. Now you're probably confused, like how... we don't have any low-level dragons. How do you do that? We use a Reprodocus, and you just change their type and do a lot of wild things there. Then we play 1 copy of cryston Needle Fiber. This card is like this, and the Link Cross are the cards that really tie the knot all around. Like they're just busted cards, and yeah, they allow stupidish plays. 1 Artifact Dagda. You can make a cryston Needle Fiber and a Dagda. And this is basically, this requires a tuner and any monster. This requires any 2 monsters, and you can basically do this off of 1 righty driver. But you can basically summon the Cryston Needle Fiber, Dagda, and then during your opponent's turn, activate Cryston Needle Fiber, summon TG Wonder Magician, and activate Dagda to set the artifact. Which one was I playing? The Artifact Scythe. Set the Artifact Scythe. Then when Cryston Needle Fiber resolves, you can special summon the TG Wonder Magician, activate TG Wonder Magician, target the set Scythe, pop the set Scythe, and now your opponent can't summon during their extra deck. So it's just an additional card with the Buster Dragon that you can basically lock your opponent out of playing for that first turn. Because the thing is, like, traditional Chaos Max Dragon struggled a lot going first. Like, it's very good going second, always has been. But the problem is going first is a little bit problematic, and it's very difficult to side in cards for a regular Chaos Max Dragon without shredding your engine. So this allows you to have multiple ways to stop your opponent from special summoning from the extra deck, or you can do a lot of other things if you decide to go different routes. Which if I get around to making those combo videos, I'll show you. But basically, you can prevent your opponent from playing. If they make you go first, you can prevent them from playing, and then you can just OTK them the following turn. Then we play 1 Union Carrier to attach the Buster Dragon, 1 Draco Masters of the Tenyi. This is basically like a generic Link 3. Generic enough, I guess. You can also use Traffic Ghost, that always works, or you can use that dragon from a long time ago that people used to use. Then we use 1 copy of Sir Yugioh, Skull Dread Dragon. It's like, you know, it's always a +1. It's basically what you use all of the guard dragons for. You end with just use that. 1 Martial Metal Marcher, which is a super play enabler. Basically, when summoned, you target a link monster, and not a link monster, a tuner monster in your graveyard, special summon it back, and its effects are negated, meaning not this card but that card's. And then on top of that, this card, when it is when you use it to synchro summon a monster, the monster that you synchro summon counts as a tuner. So it'll allow you to make things like Crystal Wing. Next we play 2 copies of Herald of Arc Light. This card is busted. Like, it has all of its effects are actually usable in this deck, which it's already usable in other decks, but first of all, it's a floodgate. Any cards your opponent sends from hand or deck to grave are banished instead, so that's already crazy. On top of that, this card also, if your opponent activates a monster spell or trap, you can actually just tribute this and negate it. That's another crazy effect. And then its last effect is if it's sent from field to grave, you can search a ritual monster or ritual spell, and that's not like contained to anything. None of these effects, by the way, are once per turn. So this card is just nuts. It's just always been kind of difficult to get into, but with this deck, it's like stupid easy. We play 1 copy of the Crystal Wing Dragon, and then we play 1 copy of TG Wonder Magician. And that pretty much wraps it up on the extra deck. Like I said, if you really want to see the combo video, I definitely can do it. I don't know if I can do test hands, because test hands is going to be hell, I gotta say. Because test hands with a going second deck is always difficult, because it's hard to quantify exactly what your opponent is going to be playing, what they have, you know, various things like that. But this deck can certainly go first or second, just because of the versatility that's been put into this. You can cut a lot of these cards and make it just purely go second, or you can cut a lot of these cards and make it purely go first, and just sort of side to whatever side you want, I guess. You can side out a lot of the things like the Union Carrier and the... You can side out like the Union Carrier and the Artifact Dagda and the Wonder Magician, and then have it purely go second, or switch. You know, you can switch out things to however you like. But like I said, I can make that combo video probably soon if there's enough requests for it. But thank you for watching, and I guess enjoy your day, guys.